We're back with another Soulsborne ranking, this time credits. Credits are incredibly important as main themes because they're the thing that ends the game. You feel them in a different way after, spending 20, 30 hours experiencing a game. The credits are so important. So let's check these out. Starting with Demon's Souls Original. So she's repeating the lower strings. This is a dirge. This is a mournful piece of death. Now she's growing in volume. Oh, wow. Wow, this is so beautiful. Feels like it tries to burst through major a little bit. It's all very staccato and short. But now it's peaceful and major. Ah, the oboe takes over. Oboe, very bright sound there. Maybe things are okay. Her voice almost has a childlike quality to it. The vibrato's not perfectly even. Beautiful upper register climb. I love how it's basically a duet with the oboe and the singer. Really sustaining notes there. And then we have just the piano and the voice. It's melancholy, isn't it? Wow. And then the strings come in full, as if to say, oh, the dissonance! A suspension there. Strings really supporting that upper register. Beautiful, beautiful vibrato in that upper register. Nice, covered, rich sound there. Oh! Major dissonance. Listen to that. Oh! Sustained vocal. Stunning piece of music. Now, to me, this piece is actually extremely complex. First of all, the innocence in the sound. We really don't get a full vibrato until probably the middle of the piece when she goes up into the upper register. That's where we get that fullness and that like sort of womanly sound. But before that, it's all very childlike. It's always sparse. There's some really interesting stuff. There's a bunch of staccato that's occurring throughout the piece, especially in the first minute or so. None of it is very languid or fluid, especially in the beginning. There's a sharpness to it. Now, this is a trope in every sort of FromSoft game, but like things were achieved, but are they necessarily good things? And the staccato does a great job of sort of recognizing the fact that, well, things are not actually great. But then it's interesting because then it moves into a lyrical section. The oboe and the singer, like I mentioned, sort of start singing a duet with the orchestral backing. It's interesting how there's actually two sides to this coin, because on the one hand, you have the oboe and the orchestra, the strings kind of leaning in. There's also some bassoon punch there at one point. That is the ethos of like the peaceful tranquility. But then on the flip side, the singer is being supported by the piano with the orchestra as well. But the piano is a much more percussive instrument by its very nature. And so what ends up happening is, even though the soprano is singing a legato at times, the piano still has this shortness to it that doesn't feel as like beautiful or lush, even though it's sumptuous, as the oboe does. And so to me, and there's a lot of dissonance in here, which to me, it's like the job is done. There's some good things that came of it, but overall things are not great, especially at the end. If you really listen, there's a crunch in there, a dissonant crunch, while she's continuing to sing her normal thing, kind of this like soliloquy, this prayer, this sort of reflective piece. The dissonance implies that things are not as they appear to be. And I find that really, really excellent. This is absolutely an S tier to me. This is the kind of piece that I would want to hear in a symphony hall. It's absolutely glorious. It's peaceful. It's a little bit more dialed back probably than a symphony hall would necessarily. It would probably be better in like a smaller concert venue where you would put on like art song concerts and stuff. So a little bit more pared back, but a nice chamber orchestra in there would be so beautiful. So, for me, that's an S. That's really, 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 really good. I think it really like lays out the idea of the sadness without all this extra stuff, which is really nice. Now let's listen to the Demon's Souls PS5 credits version. Much more prayer-like. More like a Gregorian chant here. We lose a little bit of the childlike wonder in this, a little bit of the innocence. Love the straight tone though. I still really like the fullness of this soundtrack, this remake soundtrack. You hear more of the color and the dissonance in the strings. In some ways, it's actually sadder to me. Some really nice double movement in the strings with the voice. You hear the dissonance a little bit stronger in this version. Nice, so she sustains while the... Okay, so the harp is predominant here. Reminds us of the Nexus. Beautiful flip into the upper register like that. This is very much less mournful than the first one. Still very pulled back, though. Very, very honest, very pure. It's very religious. This is the kind of stuff you'd hear in a church. This is really, this is what you would hear, you know, talking about the crucifixion or something, you know? Oh wow, adding the choir, that's interesting. Huh. Really nice harmony there with that other chorus, with the lower voice females. We're actually getting more of that brokenness in this. Crescendo. Tremolo on the strings. Stunning lower voice. You got some mezzo alto and low tenor and low bass. So we're taking that original soprano sound and expanding on it. Tons of doubling there. Wow. Yeah, this is so bleak. Amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. See, there's something really special about this. Now, both are terrific. I like the first one for how pared back and sort of bleak and childlike innocence lost. Those kinds of things come through in the first one. This one obviously had a difference in the terms of the singer's age. Still really love the straight tone in this. I think the straight tone works unbelievably well in both versions. It's interesting though because the first version didn't have as much vibrato. In fact, this one is a little bit more pared back, but the first one had a more innocent sound, even though it had vibrato, which is sort of a fascinating thing. Now, I think that this one ends up feeling more like something you would hear in a church. I feel that there's less sound of pain and anguish and more the telling of a story in this particular one, whereas the first piece, the duet between the oboe and the voice and the piano and the strings, that felt more like a person who had lived the experience. And it's interesting how, like, depending on how we choose to pair instruments and how we choose to take the vocal direction, these things can have significant changes to our overall experience. Here we get much more of like a recounting. This is much more of the like Greek chorus, which if you don't know what that is, the Greek chorus basically was usually a narrator who would sort of set the scene for us. And this feels more like the chorus is remarking on the loss that has occurred, and there is loss. There's an inherent sadness throughout the piece, especially when this sort of second half that I didn't hear in the first credits theme. This part is really ultimately showcasing the bleak sort of lost quality of this world. There's a decay, but not directly affected by it, which doesn't take away from its beauty, but it certainly makes it a different listening experience, which is quite cool. Like, there's your dissonance, there's your and this is sparse because nice open closed vowels, sort of sustaining slow movement in the strings, really full rich sound. See, that's interesting little like seconds and minor movement there. And we're moving together as the chorus. Yeah, so I think, like, all told, I would definitely put this also at an S. I think that this and the Demon's Souls OST original are both hand in hand. Now, it depends on your own perspective, but for me, just looking at these and listening to these from a musical perspective, I think these are both divine in their own way. They both bring something new and both tell a story. It's just a question of which one is your preference. I understand that there's a lot of folks that are very upset about the Demon's Souls remaster or remake or whatever, but honestly, like, musically, both are such valid experiences. Let's check out Nameless Song from Dark Souls. It's so similar to Demon's Souls. It's interesting. That harp at the Firelink Shrine, the sense of peace. The cello. Violin. This is Emmy Evans. Beautiful straight tone, no vibrato, nameless song, no words, just vowels. And there's that cello coming in, cello representing the sadness of this broken world. Beautiful harp. Super sustained strings there, while the cello is basically the second soloist. Incredible straight tone and breath control there. Super long phrases. The twinkling night sky underneath. Harp and voice, exceptional. It's worth mentioning and stopping that the harp and the voice together, usually that's a celestial thing, a celestial voice, an angelic thing. The Dark Souls like lexicon is so bleak in general. And I think in this moment there's this like sense of rest and respite and a settling in, a quieting down of the loudness, of the brutality of the world, you know? Like, it's very interesting how the harp and the voice, being those celestial entities, feel almost like a gift from above, as if to say, hey, rest now, relax, you deserve a break. The beautiful straight tone really does a great job of setting the scene as being very placid and peaceful. There's not a lot of dissonance in this. There's a lot of stillness within the movement of the cello and the violins, and so I think the cello probably represents the danger and the brutality, while the voice kind of comes through and pushes it out of the way, as if to say, no, this is a moment of rest. It's interesting. Super sustained violin there. Long bow, super long bowed. Tiny bit of dissonance there. This is almost like an undulating, repetitive pattern because things never really change, right? Now we get into some fullness. Nice harmony in those violins against the voice. Beautiful second violin there. Oh yeah. You know what's interesting is that the ha. So what we do is we have the first beat being very strong, and then we pull back. So we have a little bit of a baby crescendo and then a decrescendo right away. It's really effective. This really feels like a caress. It feels like a gentle touch. It feels like a hey. You know, I'm here for you. There's a certain quality in that of almost like wanting to reach out and hold and protect. You know, that's a very interesting sound to me. Gorgeous harp as it climbs up. Wonderful sustained carryover with that string. It's like a hard-won piece, but the piece feels temporary. Beautiful harmony there. Yeah. That cello really low bass. God, that harp is just ascending. It's beautiful mixture of the twinkle and the xylophone, coupled with the gentility in the harp. But then the cello comes in and there's pain in the strings. There's like, no, it's not as peaceful as you think because of this, and this. This is still a broken world. Oh. She doesn't resolve. She goes, ah. That would end the piece. It would end the piece. Instead, it goes, ah. And she fades out. It's really, really powerful. There's such a dance here between lightness and darkness, and angelic and devilish, and broken and healed. And I love the instrumentation choice is really, really interesting because of how it sort of cycles between the two. It cycles between that beautiful vocalism, the harp, the angelic sort of looking down and saying like, rest, be at peace. And then there's this voice that's back there that says it's not time for peace, the cello and the low bass especially. And then there's a little bit of dissonance, but in general, it's just this like sort of like, what do we do now? I mean, shit, it's another S. I mean, it's like so good. It's really, really, really good. It could maybe be an A because it's a bit repetitive. I would like it for maybe to go. So it's a great piece. It's hard. Well, okay, I'm going to put that in an A. I think it's less interesting to me than the Demon Souls' versions. Now, it's not to say that this is a bad song by any stretch of the imagination. It's a phenomenal piece of music, but it does tend to drone a little bit, but it's incredibly rich. I mean, this is another piece where I don't think it would fit in a concert hall because of how repetitive it is, and it's just sort of like is a stagnant stasis of an emotion, which is not a problem, but I think that it lacks a little bit of the forward direction, or at least the emotional connection that I felt from the previous two. Let's listen to Longing from Dark Souls 2. Similar. Much more romantic and positive. There's some dissonance there. Interesting how the harp ends up doing a duet with the piano there. Smart to have them sync up. Well, that's so nice. Major. The bells. It has such a similar vibe to DS1. Really rest, you weary warrior. Oh, nice crescendo. Then it scales back so fast, just piano voice. And those strings come in again. Ah, but with the little turn there. And then the harp and the piano end up with their duet again. Fascinating. The strings really set up the idea that we're in a broken world again. Syncing up with the bells, that's cool. Yeah. Ba-da, ba-da. That's a repetition again. Feels a bit of urgency there. Again, I think this piece suffers from being a little bit overly repetitive. It is great and terrific at setting up a scene, making us feel this sense of loss. Very similar to Dark Souls 1 in terms of its like structure. It could be the same song, and if you just transferred it over to Dark Souls 1, I think it would work. Dark Souls 1 is a little bit richer. I think longing here, it does leave a sense of longing, doesn't it? It leaves with a sense of like, man, I am at peace. But then the strings show up and then they're like, well, actually, no, you're not. And not dissimilarly to what we heard in Dark Souls 1. You know what's interesting is that Nameless Song and Longing are both two pieces that you could fall asleep to. And I don't say that because I'm filming this at 8:30 in the morning. I'm saying this because like they're very, very, very placid with edges of danger. But overall, the pieces are intended to be this like still moment of rest. You could put both of these pieces at the Firelink Shrine and they would work and they would actually deliver the same feeling that the Firelink Shrine does in Dark Souls 1, and the same goes for Dark Souls 2. Like they work in that case. They're super pared back, but I find it really interesting that there are moments where the orchestra kind of lushly and fully takes over and replaces that chill harp and a piano with this edge of real overwhelming darkness, which is really powerful. Again, I'm going to put that at an A. It's not that it's bad. I kind of lose my own attention span to it, and I'm actively trying to listen to it. So I'm going to put that at an A. It's a beautiful piece, but it doesn't capture me as much as Demon Souls, both of them did. All right, let's check out Dark Souls 3 Epilogue. Much sadder, much bleaker. Yeah, that's really nice. Love that timpani swell, that cymbal crash. Love the way those strings carry that. My God. Do you see what I mean, though? You see how this is actually different. This feels different. Now, it has similarities. It borrows from the legacy of Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2. But it still has that, like, female vocalist just singing vowels, essentially, right? But the difference is here in the momentum of the accompaniment of the strings, the way that we carry, even the vocal line itself, way more forward momentum in this, where it feels like also the heft of this is that it's the end of a vicious cycle, which is what Sekiro's ending theme. But there's an end, there's a heaviness within the string orchestration and also the notes themselves. But then also the soprano, it's as if to say, like, man, this is it. This is over. Nothing is positive. You know, like, it's over. And that's very, very effective. It's gorgeous. And there's also some really nice cymbal crashes that we heard, and also some just like really pressing into the bowing of the strings that really, I think, kind of keeps us moving. It's not quite as boring as the other two, dare I say it. We still end up with the harp and with the paired back strings. It's so interesting. Dissonance there. Resolution. Oh, lots of interesting crunch there. Nice. Now we're doubling the singer, showcasing how bleak this situation really is, right? Actually, the singer ends up sustaining and the strings take over at times. And that's in the lower strings. Way bleaker, actually, than when it's just a soprano. That's interesting. Lower cello and viola. Yeah. That works because we've heard it with the singer all this time. Still get the harp, too. Then we pull back and it's just the singer again. Just sustaining single notes, okay. Or not. Nice movement with the singer as well. Pull the strings back, the voice forward, sustaining. It almost wanted to be major there. It almost wanted to be different. Oh, this is broken. Everything is over. The worst breakup of your life. Nice timpani there. Doubling. Wow. Oh my gosh. Beautiful lower notes in the strings. The singer and the orchestra switch places for a second. Nice sustaining chord there. Reframing the chord, just the singer over top with a little bit of support. Sustaining strings. Nice. Does she resolve? No! She doesn't go, oh, because it never truly ends, does it? Ooh, I gotta shift my rankings. So I think I'm gonna move Dark Souls 1 and 2 down to B. I'm gonna move Demon Souls 1 and 2 down to A. I'm gonna put Dark Souls 3 Epilogue up to S. Very, very gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Let's check out Sekiro Shadows Die Twice ending credits. Gorgeous, gorgeous upper flute on top there. Come together. A lot of space. I like the momentum in this so much. Dissonance. That's the spirit of the warrior. You never stop. You never stop moving. Love the taiko too. Love the strings there kind of spinning us and moving us. I just want to stop really quickly and just say, like, what I really like about the Sekiro credits here is that we are encapsulating this entire experience. These credits are sort of guiding us as listeners through what we just experienced as participants, right? And what's really cool is that we still get the heart of the warrior there with Sekiro. We still get the feeling of propulsion of incredible battle. We still also get sadness and like a quality of decay, but it's like a hero's death, a hero's journey, a hero's. I don't actually know if Sekiro dies, but by the way, like I've never gotten past the gorilla because There's still an incessant momentum in that, which is really satisfying. Because it doesn't allow us to sit back and be like, I'm going to participate in this. I'm not going to allow myself to sit back and just like watch the world burn, right? There's a constant sense of like, I am going to be victorious. I'm going to achieve my goals, even though it has a quality of sustaining and stuff. It moves at a pretty interesting pace. Oh, that's cool. Beato. Oh. A lot of space. Wow. Beautiful. Oh, this is like I'm free. There's a freedom in that sound, you know? The sun is shining on a new chapter, a new beginning. Tremolo on the strings. Is everything okay still? This noise leaves us with a bit of a question. No, there's no question. We move. We never allow ourselves to sit still. Dissonance and tension there. I will face whatever adversity comes my way head on. Some interesting twists and turns here, though. Nice doubling there with the bass and the orchestra, the strings and the horns. Sustain as we move into a different section. Nice. Up the octave. Tremolo. Come back in. Beautiful sustain. The space gives way to peace. Love that tremolo on the strings, as if to say, I'm not dead yet. I'm not over. I'm not out. Love the lower strings there, kind of guiding us, locking us down. You know, the piece is really like saying like things are over, but they're not. And then actually that's what all of these pieces have basically said. But there's a sense of ownership of over oneself. There's a sense of drive. There's a sense of commitment to seeing something through. I especially love the middle section here, because the middle section is that forceful taiko drum moment where we're propulsive. We're not sitting on our laurels. We're seeing the sunrise and we're saying, this is the new beginning of my life. I'm going to take a chance to become the best version of myself. There's a momentum in that, in the way that even though we do get these, also I find it interesting because the space that we end up with, a lot of these sections feels like a meditative pregnant pause where, well, not pregnant, like pregnant pause, like a, and I think the pregnant pause works really well at allowing us to breathe, to be like, holy crap, what did I just experience? To be like, holy crap, I am a warrior. What does that mean? I would put that at a B. I like it, but I just don't like it as much as the Demon Souls stuff. I think with a lot of these, I just want more melody, which is what the Demon Souls stuff really delivered on. And the Dark Souls 3 Epilogue was really great for me because it had like layers and it was moving towards a destination, even though it was a similar thematic sound to the Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 pieces. But those had melody, but they were sort of repetitive and simple, which is totally fine, which is why I ranked Demon Souls, the original, so highly. But there's something about them that doesn't land for me as significantly as that, or as powerfully as the Dark Souls 3 Epilogue. So let's check out the Bloodborne, which is one my favorite of the Soulsborne games. Love the cello solo here. Love that. Heavy hits. You still get chorus, you still get that one single vocal, but boy, God, the tremolo, oh my God, the horns. Stab. Oh. Love the sliding. Oh my God. Love. Oh, creepy strings, man. So, ultimately Bloodborne, the world of Yharnam is still as fucked up as it was when you started. It just showcases how disturbing, broken, and incredibly messed up this world is and has remained, regardless of whatever you've done in this world, right? And I think ultimately the cycle continues, right? It's just such a shame that Bloodborne has been left kind of where it's been left. Bloodborne is easily the best, in my opinion, from Soft Experience. I think it caters to a wonderful aggressive play style. I mean, everything about it exudes, this incredible gothic charm. I mean, it's really hard to find a game that replicates this in such a big way. And on top of that, I have to say that the recording of Bloodborne's soundtrack is so incredibly clean. Bloodborne is so good. And I know that a lot of people glaze it, but don't necessarily I'm sure it's gotten kind of annoying for people to be like, oh, Bloodborne, okay, yeah. No, I bet you a bunch of people haven't probably played it. But this was the first of the FromSoft games, if not really the only, that truly clicked with me, that left a massive and meaningful impression on me. I was obsessed with this with this game. This was like a new game plus 6 for me. It just hits in all the right spots, and I love the brass use, especially in this. It's such a heavy sound. There's a brutalization in this sound, a violence in the music that is just so satisfying. Very hard to find. I mean, we get it in plenty of other soundtracks, but in Souls games, I should say, it's really hard to get the kind of brutality that you get in so many of Bloodborne's pieces. And there's also like a fairly wide variety. Well, anyway, we're talking about the ending themes. I mean, it's just phenomenally powerful. It's not even broken. It's everything is destroyed, but there's like this malignant, malicious force that remains hidden away, right? You hear the timpani is like a thunderbolt, a lightning strike, you know? Listen to that crescendo. I mean, yeah, Mergo's lullaby, okay. Funny enough, when I found Mergo, I had it on mute because I was taking a phone call, and I beat it first try, which is really funny. It's just so disturbing, though. It's out of tune, it's dissonant. It should be pure, innocent, and instead it's not quite right, disturbing, uncomfortable. It really leans into a sense of dread and mental disruption, you know? I also love that you hear this and you're not greeted with rest. You're greeted with just like this disturbing, fucked up place. That slight harmony is so off kilter. Now, I'm not going to go and listen to the Bloodborne end credits. I'm not going to listen to this in the car, per se. Like, this isn't a piece I'm going to, like, put on before I fall asleep. Now, you may, because you, for whatever reason, can fall asleep to Mergo's lullaby. I certainly can't. So, in that regard, it's not like a peaceful piece like all the other ones, where there's a little bit of dissonance, but there's, you know, it's kind of nice. It's restful. It sort of reflects on a journey. This really greets you with, like, what's up, bitch? You ready to go again? You know what I mean? And that kind of fits too. Like, it's just a really broken, and the horrors that we see in this particular game, I feel, trump a lot of the horrors that we see in a lot of the other games, where they're disturbing, but this one really just like takes it and it just, you know, especially as you get further along in the journey. I think, to me, I would rank this at an S for a bunch of different reasons. I mean, musically, I find it profoundly powerful. I think it's deeply evocative. It's disturbing. I mean, it's not as peaceful as the other pieces, but it still provides, like, the sound of it is so, like, just jacked up. Like, it's just like so. Ugh. To hear that lullaby again is also really kind of jacked up and kind of abuse, but whatever. Alrighty, let's check out the Elden Ring credits. Just a little Radon in there. Strong male presence there. Male chorus. Tremolo. Very grand. Wow, it's like almost like Jaws or something. That brass sting back there. Okay, this is... Yeah. Godric. You know, it's interesting. I think going back and referencing other bosses or like experiences that you had throughout the game is a good idea. I mean, this happens in like curtain calls sometimes for musical theater pieces where you'll literally, it'll be like it'll be like all the greatest hits of the musical, and it kind of comes together and they play it at the end as people take their bows. It's a very common thing to do. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun homage to previous themes, and it also being like, hey, remember when you did this? Remember when you did this? Remember when you did this? And it kind of lets you sit back and be like, what did I just experience? Because like, you know, maybe these themes are subconsciously in there, but yeah, it's a fascinating thing to basically have like a redos of those themes. I love this sense of momentum there. It's so dialed back with the very strong choral emphasis there as well. The strings really like emphasize danger and like coming up against something serious, you know? It's so Wagnerian in its size too. It's just vast. Especially that lower emphasis there. It's so menacing with the lower males down there. I love it also when the twinkling piano there. Just to highlight this decay, you know, almost. Oh. And that really symbolizes death and loss and decay and then over top of that comes in like an Elden beast. It's so pointed too. It's really powerful. I love that this ultimately is a march too. I love the rhythmic entity in the lower strings. Shum chum cha 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 chum shum cha cha cha. Now to end this with this is really effective. And the fact that it resolves. So drawn out, so sustained. Such a nice button. I think this is a perfectly legitimate credits theme. I mean, the Bloodborne one features 2 different tracks, one that we, hear in the game. I think it works really, really well. I think Elden Ring's soundtrack is so dense. It's so different from Dark Souls, Demon Souls. A lot of these are pared back, and I think the Demon Souls remake, I think people have problems with because it's so rich, kind of like Elden Ring's. I personally like that sound as well. I like both. I think Elden Ring's soundtrack just it's interesting. On the one hand, I think it's absolutely phenomenal. I think the boss themes are terrific. I think they're rich and they have basically spill the lore of the character incredibly well. The movements, the strings, the brass, the percussion. On the other hand, I find the ambient tracks to be sort of lacking and just kind of that's the point of ambient tracks anyway, not to be lacking, but to be sort of still and set a scene, a world building sound essentially. And I think it does that well, but it doesn't necessarily hit me. But anyway, as far as a credits theme is concerned, I think it was nice to revisit some of the boss themes and maybe rearrange them slightly and connect them to one another. I think that's an easy A. I think it's good. Yeah. I always think having a proper credits theme on its own is always a positive thing, but whatever. So to tally up the rankings, you've got Dark Souls 3, S, Bloodborne, S, Elden Ring, A, Demon Souls and Demon Souls Remake at A, and then you've got Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, and Sekiro holding down the fort there at B. All of these pieces, obviously incredibly good, all on their own, all exceptionally composed. Would love to know what your rankings are. Thanks a ton, and I'll see you later.